So my mother had said that she wanted to have a celebration of life, and I've seen many different versions and formats, and so I just wanted to share with you my perspective. Celebration of life is just that, the celebration of my mom's time here on the earth. It's a time of reflection, a time of sharing, a time of sharing the impact that my mom has not only had on my family's life, but on the lives of others, and many others, I believe. It's also a time of healing and closure for family and for friends. My mother and I did not share the same values spiritually, and back in the 80s, that was often a point of contention for us. And so we made a conscious decision back then. We talked about it to just not talk about those types of things, because it was a rubbing point for us. So over 20 years, we kept to that bond. And so as I invite those of you who would like to share some stories to come forward, I would respectfully ask that the focus be on the life that was lived, and not of the one to come. So at this point, is there anyone that would like to speak?
Hi, my name is Raymond Erickson, and I think it's appropriate that I just follow on with what Jeff said, because we are from the Celebration of Life Centre community, her spiritual family in Vancouver. And I only got the message yesterday, so I quickly sent out an email to as many people that were in my email book. And I met June in 1990 when my husband was going through a heart attack, a transitional period, and we didn't know if he was going to live or die. And June was in a workshop with me called On Course. And she said to me, my husband got well, so hang on to the hope. And the following morning he'd had a heart attack, and the only person that phoned me at work was June. And that night in my first Science of Mind class, June sat on one side of me, and another lady sat on the other side of me and said, I support people through transition. So I knew I was taking care of either side. So one of the other people at that workshop sent me an email at 7:41 this morning. Please let her family know that Raymond and I always hold a big warm heart, a warm place for June in our hearts. She always had a big hug for us, most interesting thoughts to share, and the passion to help others in need and bring a smile to their faces. Her love and memory will live in Raymond's and my heart, in lovely memory of June, Raymond and Brenda Pilon. And then at 11:35 this morning, she sent me another email. And I just checked before I was getting ready to go out, so I figured it was worth sharing with everybody. Hi again. I'm getting flyers ready for the Wellness Fair in Vernon. Raymond and I are facilitating a Quantum Touch workshop May the 29th and 30th with an international workshop leader from Toronto. I will email you later this week. Raymond and I have been recalling the fun we had sharing with June and Laurie about philosophy, science of mind, being Santas and Santa's wives, and figuring out how to do flyers for workshops. That was June's specialty. Only June had the brains behind all the other graphic and other solutions needed. Lauren was our computer king. They were both such delightful people. Last May when we were in New Westminster, I tried several times to get in touch with June, but there was no connection. Now we send her love and joy as she joins her dear husband Laurie, who I know she loves with all her heart. Sweetheart. Namaste.
Just wanted to read this for you. It's called How Do You Live Your Dash? I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came her date of birth and spoke the following date with tears, but he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and not only those who knew her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left, but can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what is true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about the way you spent your dash? That's author unknown. So due January 21st, 1937, dash March 5th, 2010. I'm sure June will be very proud of how she spent her dash.
The one thing that I want to say about Jean is I knew her, I got to know her in the 1990s, and she was always there, and it was sporadic. But the one thing, whenever I had connection with her, I always felt better.